Okay, Mom, for my dorm, I'm thinking coquette meets poet core.
That sounds like a vibe. What do you need? And where do we get it?
Target. I already have everything on my mood board. A comforter, pillows, and a super cute floral lamp.
So you probably need a rug to tie it all together.
OMG, they have the perfect CMPC rug.
CMPC?
Coquette meets poet core.
Oh, okay. In that case, let's RTT.
Yeah, let's run to Target. You're getting it. Find your dorm inspiration and everything you need at Target.
What is going on, everybody? It is Ryan Leary, William Tincup here with another episode of The Barf. Is that a Mickey's shirt? Like Mickey?
It is, baby.
The beer?
Yeah.
I think last week you had, what'd you have last week? You had the...
I got like 8 of them.
I
got
the
all
Miller.
the malt liquors. Cold.
You had the Jesus, you had the Millers, and now
That's right.
Mickey's.
That's right, baby.
We call that a problem.
No, it's a respect to my misspent youth. That's all it is. It's an ode.
Yeah, and then we spent like 10 minutes on Colt 45 and OE.
That's right.
Is what we did, yeah.
My son asked me what Old English was. That was the funniest shit. He came in the office. He's like, "Hey man, what's Old English? Is that like something British?" I'm like,
"Yeah, yeah. It's from the UK. Yeah, who they talking?
No, it's actually paint thinner. Don't ever touch it. Just stay away from it."
Nice. All right, man. So it's like the third week of the month. So that means we've got Nick back on with us from Canditech. Nick, what's going on, brother?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah. You're lucky. We don't let people back on often.
Nick's headed on a vacation. He's headed out.
Yeah. So we have 23 minutes to get this in.
It's gonna be easy.
Or he's just gonna bounce.
Yeah.
He's just like,
I don't know what happened to him. Bad connection.
We got a lot to pack in. We narrowed it down. We got like 4 stories to talk about, and then we've got this wheel.
That's right.
We're going to spin, and we're going to give away some cash money, but we're going to hold off on this. We're going to make people listen to the episode for a bit. So,
I think
William,
that's smart.
Kick us off, brother.
All right. A hiring manager wrote in to ask a manager after interviewing a candidate who had discovered that that someone that they had a major workplace conflict with 17 years earlier still worked at the company. The candidate considered sending a cease and desist letter after not getting the job. While comments debated whether holding a grudge for nearly 2 decades or expecting someone else not to was more bizarre behavior. So I'll ask Nick first. You apply to a job, you find out that there's someone that's been there for 2 decades that you had a beef with. We don't know what the beef was, but let's say it was significant. What do you think?
I think 2 decades is a long time. I think people can change, despite what, some people don't believe that. I do think people can change. And I think holding a grudge, there's a phrase I love, which is holding a grudge is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. So I would try and work through it, talk with the other person, have a conversation, work through it like an adult rather than just go straight for a cease and desist is a bit extreme, I think.
People get out of prison in 2 decades for putting a knife in somebody's eyeball.
Yeah.
Get over it. Move on.
Yeah. Leave it, let it go.
Yeah.
Oh, is that your official, Ryan?
That was my official take on that.
Move on.
Yeah, like that was. Oh no, I wasn't saying. No, we can talk more about. I was just saying that person needs to move on.
Yours was shiv the person. All
That's
right,
a really shitty story. Move on. That's what that. No,
it's your shirt. It's your story. Let's go.
This is going to start your workplace grudge against each other.
100%. You remember what you said? Yeah.
If there hasn't been a grudge at this point. It ain't.
Good point.
It ain't happening. People ask all the time, Nick, how do you work with this dude? I'm like,
that's right.
I call his wife occasionally. She calms me down. She walks me off.
That's right. Talks him off the ledge. Oh no, he didn't mean that. He said much worse than me.
He was talking about putting acid on a body to get rid of it. What do we do? All right. So Korn Ferry, you guys probably heard this. Korn Ferry acquires AMS for $1.1 billion. I like this for a number of reasons. I like this because Korn Ferry is executive search, right? They do leadership development or consultant, the whole bit. AMS is like the dominant player in volume, and so in volume hiring, and so specifically in RPO. So I think bringing these two together just make a lot of sense, especially since AMS is, in theory, constantly going to have reoccurring predictable revenue because it's high volume and it's contract. Whereas Korn Ferry they're gonna go up and down as the market shifts. One of the things, and William, you and I know a bunch. Nick, I'm sure you know a bunch of people over at AMS. One of the things I really kind of, was thinking about this last night, Korn Ferry, they already know how organizations should hire, right? They're doing assessments, they've got the skills intelligence, they've got all the leadership data, benchmarking. AMS is hiring at scale. I just don't see anything bad here unless I'm sure there's something bad. I'm sure one of you guys have something bad. I'm staying positive on this and I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually agree. I think it's a very good indication into broadly where the recruitment agency market is heading. I think there's been a lot of doom and gloom on the agency side, especially with the post-COVID boom. After that, as the market started to normalize and stabilize, a lot of people I speak to in the agency world, which, by the way, I spent 10 years on the agency side, were very worried about what the future looks like. Plus, with how much AI is being introduced into the hiring process, where does the agency world sit? And I think this is a really good signal that the agency isn't going anywhere. Potentially it needs to update and operate slightly differently and be more AI native in the way that it advises and probably be a bit more consultative. And I think actually, if you take Korn Ferry's executive search approach, which is much more consultative, into a high volume AMS model, we'll see something really interesting. But largely, I think it's a very interesting acquisition, and I think it's a good signal for what's to come.
So AMS is short for Alexander Mann Solutions, right? We all know that. The only thing that shocked me about the whole thing, the fit and all that stuff, everything makes sense, is the price tag. I thought 1.1 billion in this market, that's pretty low.
I thought that was low as well.
I thought that was going to be a much bigger price tag, because I had them up with a Deco and Manpower and Ronstadt and some of these others. Yeah. So like that was the shocker, was the price tag. Other than that, the fit and everything else, all that stuff that tracks. Just if I know if I could buy AMS for 1.1 billion, someone else there should have been a line of people wanting to buy them. Yeah. So that's it. All right, let me give you another one real quick. A discussion erupted across Reddit. I love stories from Reddit. After workers compared notes on how much corporate culture has changed since COVID. The common themes weren't pay or perks. They were workplaces feel more transactional. Onboarding is harsher. Culture fit has become more important than competence. And employees feel like they're competing with teammates instead of learning alongside of them. Thousands of comments piled on with similar experiences. So the first thing that stuck out to me is, first of all, culture fit and its relationship with return to work. But what do y'all think about in general? Do you think that the workplaces have changed? Have we regressed? Have we progressed? What do you think? And Ryan, why don't you start?
I knew you were going to call me first because I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah,
that's
good.
Cool. No, I kind of wasn't, and it left my mind. No, I don't know. I was talking with we were recording yesterday and talking about the workplace changing. I just think it's cyclical. I think the workplace is always changing. You need to adapt or move on. I'm very move on today.
Yes.
I'm very move on today. I just noticed that.
Ice pick in the eye of workplace culture. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of this is common sense to me. This is why I never get hired. If people listen to these episodes.
Well, the thing is in Reddit. First of all, Reddit's like the YouTube comments. It's where humanity goes to die.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. The thing though that's really interesting is that they think that it's worse now. And I'm trying to think of what they compared it to, and they're comparing it to COVID, when you didn't have a workplace. So you're comparing an orange to Venus. So when you don't have a workplace, and all of a sudden now you do have workplace, it means you have workplace rules. And so any of those rules, hey, you only have an hour for lunch. Whoa, what is this? Fucking Russia? You know,
God forbid.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just structure, and structure being placed on people that are comparing it to COVID when there was no structure. And not in a bad way. It was just like, hey, get your work done. We have these calls, but by and large, just get your work done. Whereas when you return to an office, meaning you have a workplace, it's not like that. But let's go ahead and hear your version of events. Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's probably case by case. For me personally, I was remote for 6 years, and then I moved over, and I'm not remote anymore. And actually, I love it because you can collaborate in person, you can work with people, and I think there's so much you can get from being in the same room as someone else. But I also get it from someone who's been remote for 5 years. They can go to the gym when they want, or get their kids, and they're not being visually watched all the time. Probably feel like they're losing some freedom. I actually think there's some of the comments. Maybe more, it would make more sense to me actually if people were still remote, because I can understand why you would feel like you're fighting with your teammates more if you don't have that personal relationship and they are just a name on Slack or a face on Zoom. But when you're actually working with them and you're seeing them and you're in a room, I would think that would build more culture. So yeah, I think probably it depends also where these people are in their careers. A lot of people, they worked in an office for 10 years, had a short break because of COVID. Then when they returned, they were used to it. If it's your first time actually being in an office, I can imagine it being quite jarring after having so much freedom. But yeah, probably just depends on the individual's preferences, certain companies. So who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I feel, Nick, you said something about if you're in the office, you communicate more, collaborate more. If you're in the office, a lot of people are gun shy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's a keyboard warrior and can get real tough when they're not in person because they don't have to stare at you in the face, right? My camera went out. Oh, sorry, I can't get on camera, but I can talk really bad to you, right? And I can be real firm. You can't do that in an office. And I've often thought, is that good or bad? The situation that we're in. I know, yeah, you can, which is why you don't work in an office.
That's exactly right.
This is
I was prohibited from going to the office because of that. No, I have the opposite of conflict anxiety. I actually seek conflict. So I was actually bad at work because of that. Because when someone say, "Oh, I have this problem," like you're fucking weak. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I would talk like that, and it's like, yeah, we should probably if you could work from home, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So, but I do understand what you're saying. It's harder, especially when you have conflict, some type of conflict, whatever it may be, to then do that. It's really easy over Slack to just go, "You're not getting the point." It's like, okay.
Maybe those people who are a bit conflict resistant, they internalize it more, and it builds up more in their head, and that creates more of an issue. Actually, when you address it, talk about it openly with someone, sometimes you can just minimize something that feels really big. So
I wonder how much, if any, culture, politics of work have changed. That's actually really fascinating to me. I don't think anybody's. I'm sure there's people that have done studies on this, but I know pre-COVID that, especially in hierarchical organizations, it was one of those deals. It was a bunch of sharks. To get to the next level, you really had to get to the next level. I hope that part is gone, or at least diminished. Like it's more outcome based, it's more collaborative based. I hope that some of that politics stuff, you're probably never going to get rid of workplace politics, but I hope that some of it has at least been diminished. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think all of that's changing. It's with technology that we have now. Yeah. Not everybody wants to be a people manager, and that's which we've talked about a ton. But before people took it, they're like, yeah, I'll take the raise because I need the money. I want the job. I got to go up. I think with technology and the last 6 years or so, we've seen you can go lateral horizontally and still take promotions and still do other things and grow within the company. I think the whole thing
it's like, as humans, you can keep fighting each other, but but agentic AI doesn't fight. So like who you no, it doesn't fight for those types of things.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not it's going to do its work.
yeah.
It's going to do its work
Mm-hmm.
24/7. And so we're wasting time fighting with each other when we shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be supportive of each
Right.
other and learning how to manage agentic AI, not fight with each other.
We should be fighting our agentic AI so it does a better job rather than fighting with each other. And if you see
That's
some of
right.
my Claude Code prompts, that's what I'm doing. Make it better. Be quicker.
Yeah. Come on. What are you taking a day off? Come on.
All right, Nick,
Seriously.
unload. Tell us, I mean, like, how ruthless do you get with your agentic? Like, are you WTFing and cursing this guy out?
Oh yeah.
No, actually, I'm now. I used to be a bit short and blunt with how I would talk to AI, but now I'm very polite because I read somewhere that if this stuff gets real consciousness, and you want to watch out. So I want to be the guy who's like,
Yeah.
hey, remember, I was always good
Thank
to you.
Thank you.
Remember?
Appreciate
Yeah.
you. Love you.
It costs OpenAI somewhere in the region of hundreds of millions a month because people say please and thank you to AI
That's right.
to process
That's right.
that.
That's
Which
right.
is crazy.
Which I do.
That's actually really
I'm one of those
interesting.
people. I'm one of those people because
I
I'm nice.
used to.
My guy's name's Elvis, so I always say thank you, Elvis. Hey, this is what I got to take. This is what I'm looking at. Thank you for taking a look at it. It's actually, like Elvis, we're gonna brainstorm today. I got this bid. Blah 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 blah. Like I'm very cordial. Like it's a person. Because when it takes over the planet, I want it to go, hey, whoa, this guy.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You're
this-
training it
this-
now, and at some point, it's going to switch.
That's right. I want to be on the camp that gets like not killed. So I want to be the guy that Elvis protects me.
This doesn't sound like the conflict-hungry William I was hearing about before in the office.
I've met my match. Elvis is my match.
He's just hoping his name's on this wheel we're about to spin. That's what he's hoping.
Truth.
It ain't on the wheel. Before we get to spin, Nick, you got any stories you want to talk about?
Yeah, one that's quite interesting, actually very, very new, hot off the press, which is Thomson Reuters. They just announced, it's interesting, they're going to remove 500 people from their engineering team, but they're going to hire an additional 250 people in their engineering team, but AI native engineers at a more senior level. So it's interesting, they're removing 500 engineers who are back-end, front-end, more generalist in replacement of AI, which I think is an interesting switch.
Why couldn't they just retrain them? Why fire and why not just invest in training?
And maybe they will. I'm not sure. What their plan is. Maybe they will reinvest.
It's something that we see on the Silicon Valley. No, well, it is, but how many of those AI native developers are there? You're dealing with a scarcity issue. There's not that many. I mean,
they're hoping for 250.
So it's like, okay, well, we can train those people in 8 weeks. If they already have a basis and a knowledge of C++, we can change that. We can train that person because they just need to know the outcome and be able to articulate the outcome. So why let them go if you can just train them?
I think I think there'll be a certain amount of people that get through the system, right? It's probably going to be, you're going to get laid off. You have to reapply for your job. It's going to be one of those deals probably, right? I'm just guessing. And those that can make the cut will make the cut. But it's, I'll have to find the article. I don't know the numbers offhand, but it's the cost to train someone to get to the level where they actually need them and get up to speed fast enough that they're not already behind once they get up to speed is too costly for them to just hire someone.
Yeah, I don't buy that on any level. So first thing, I think it's a riff disguised as a technology strategy. I think they just need to fire 500 people. So that's A. I think this is just all kind of cloud cover because they just need to fire people. Okay, and then they're going to slowly hire back, but we're going to hire a different position. Secondly, AI is changing AI coding and AI. The AI senior native coder that no one that doesn't exist, of course. This isn't training like institutional, organizational training, educational training. It's training by doing. So this isn't like, oh my God, it's going to take 2 years to get them to this level. No, it's not. at all. It's not going to take anyone that long, because both of y'all have mentioned Claude code projects, and neither of you have a real hardcore coding background. Did it take you that long to learn? Really?
Well, there's very different levels. The shit we're doing.
Yeah, I
like
understand there's different levels.
baby.
There's different levels
Yeah.
of everything in life. But my
Yeah.
point is, if you've already got that background, you can get there quicker.
Quicker, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So the training that like, we're going to invest thousands and millions of dollars in train. No, you're not. Because most of these people, if they know, hey, you have to learn this or you're going to be fired, they're going to learn it, and they're going to learn it quick. I think it's a riff. I think that's all this is. Cloud cover for Reuters going through a bit where they have to lay off people.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because there are other companies who announced layoffs due to AI, as if
Right.
they were using AI to replace those
Right.
positions, but it actually turned out that they had just spent so much money on AI tokens that they couldn't afford to keep those people. So it was cover, and it could very much be that. And I do agree. We see it with our own customers where we do the AI skills gap analysis for AI fluency assessments. And what a lot of companies will do is they'll take a back-end engineer, for example, and ask them to do front-end engineering or DevOps engineering with AI to see how they bridge a knowledge gap. So, it's definitely, if you understand how to prompt and you have a basic understanding of engineering, you would assume that someone can, bridge that gap themselves, especially given, a few months or a good amount of time. So I do hear you as well. Also, I don't know what senior AI native engineer really means right now. Like, I saw a Yahoo job description that was asking for an AI engineer that had 10 years of Claude Code experience. Claude Code came out a year ago. So, what
I'm senior because I have a year.
It.
Yeah, I have a year. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was dreaming about it for 9 years. And then 1 year, I actually jumped into it. Are you doing the candy wheel?
I'm pushing this along. Yeah, I'm going to do the candy wheel.
Bring it.
So, all right. So let me pull up. I need to get better. We need to have a visual on screen for people. Barbara Marks at McAfee. She's a recruiter. She's in recruiting over at. Oh, is this Barbara Marks? Barbara Marks?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, Barbara Marks is fantastic. So, Barbara, you are up for the wheel. Nick, you'll love Barbara. We'll have to make an introduction. She is fantastic. All right.
Yeah, she's.
I'm gonna get this a little closer.
Right, let's get Barbara a good spin then.
We have
what's the numbers? What's the lowest and the highest?
Zero.
We have $1.
Yeah.
And then we have one. She's gonna land on $1. That's what's gonna
breaks
happen.
my heart.
Yeah, but your wrist sometimes twitches, doesn't it?
Yeah, sometimes. All right, ready here. We're gonna give it a big spin. There we go.
Here we go.
Let's see it.
Don't land on $1, please.
$1, baby. Come on. Barbara needs it.
Oh,
$100.
okay.
Boom.
Nice.
That's good. Okay.
All right.
That's really
Barbara
right.
Marks, $100 for you. Nick, we'll get that out. Yes. Imagine all the big applause and the big fancy stuff on the screen. We'll have to
100%.
put something there now because I said it.
This is great.
Yeah, and we're at time because Nick, you're like getting on a flight and headed out somewhere.
That's
Where
right.
are you going?
Yeah.
Tell everyone
I'm
so we
going
can
to-
come rob your house.
No, don't do that, please. But I've got
So
my
dark.
best friend. My best friend is getting married, so it's time to either celebrate or commiserate, whichever way you want to look at it. So.
Is it a destination wedding like Malta or something like that?
No, it's in London.
Ah, okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's a destination for some.
Congratulations to him. Congratulations to Barbara Marks. Gentlemen.
Hey, hopefully England wins the World Cup, and then it's a real celebration.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
1 of 4, baby. You got 25% chance.
I will say, I'm not a huge fan of any of this, but I've watched some of these matches and I've kind of fallen into this.
Oh yeah, these two that are going to be today and tomorrow is going to be pretty intense because
France is supposed to win this thing, right?
They've got a deep
They're
team.
the favorites.
They're very hard to defend because they don't have to have the ball, meaning they don't have to have possession, and then all of a sudden they get a possession and in seconds they can score.
Yeah.
So
we've got is it France, Spain, Argentina, and England?
France, Spain is playing today here in Dallas, and Argentina and England is playing tomorrow in Atlanta. Both of them are playing in air conditioning today. And then when they play the final, the semifinal or the third place game on Saturday, and then they play the final on Sunday, both of them are outdoors. So they're going to have comfy games today. It'd be interesting to have hydration breaks in the middle of air conditioning, but whatever. We're here now. I'm hoping for England. And if you're there during that bid,
that's going to be fun for you.
They're going to run out of liquor. 60 years in the making.
Yeah, since Bobby Moore got that final goal for us. But I'll tell you one thing: England are not well prepped to play in the heat, so they've got a slight disadvantage from their experience. But as a patriot, I'm definitely thinking about jumping onto Polymarket and maybe risking a few dollars.
3 lines. I'm going all. I pushed all the chips in. I've got a Wembley shirt. I've got basically a shirt from the '66. For the shirts that they wore from the '66 World Cup, so I've got one. It's obviously not one of the originals, but so yeah, I'm all in on England. I want them to win. I like Spain, I like France, and I like Argentina. I like all the other teams. So it's not like I don't like. Sometimes you get into a bit where you just don't like a country or the manager of a country or some of the players. Nah. I just want England to win. 60 years.
Well, you can crack an old English if the English take it.
Nick, thank you for joining us, man. Catch your flight.
No, thank you both.
William, enjoy your soccer matches. I'm gonna stay right here in the air conditioning.
Yes, as you should.
And then I'm gonna go to sleep.